Hi, my name's Paul Cresswell. Welcome to Paul's Tackle Reviews. The normal purpose of this channel is to give you reviews of tackle that's been out on the bank, tried and tested by an unbiased, unsponsored angler, and that's me. We've got, I think, 80 videos on the channel and plenty for anybody to look at who's interested in match course style gear and fishing techniques. Today I'm looking at something a little bit different that I think causes a lot of people a lot of problem, and it certainly has for me over the years. I'm looking at how we prepare 2mm micro pellets. And there's lots of different methods out there, and there isn't a right and wrong, because if you look at all the videos on YouTube, you'll find pro anglers are doing it totally different to other pro anglers. I do a lot of fishing with pellets and using micros all year round, as I'm on the bank an awful lot. And over the years, I've developed and refined my preparation method down. And the current method that I'm going to show you, the 3 ways I do it, I've been doing this now for over a year, so I think I've settled on what I'm happy with for now, but next week somebody might put a video up and show me something better, and I'll certainly give it a go. It's obviously more difficult if you go into a fishery where you have to use their pellets, because you can't really get used to them other than going there regularly. Most of the places I fish don't require you to use their own pellets, and today I'm going through what I would do in those circumstances. I've tried a lot of different pellets over the years, all the big manufacturers, and I've finally settled on Ringer's pellets, and there's 2 pellets that I use in their micro size. I've got the R2 pellets, which are a general good all-round pellet you could use for anything I do like on the pole. And then they do some sticky method pellets as well. And I do like to add them into my method mix along with the Ringer's R2s. I've got 3 methods I'm going to show you today. Hopefully it's going to be clear. Never easy to film these things when you're on your own, and I've tried to do my best. We've got one is how I prepare my method pellets. One for if I just want pellets for feeding on the pole, either loose or in small balls. And then another one where I use part pellets and part groundbait to give a nice combo mix that can really work on certain occasions. So let's go to the demo. Okay, so here we go. I'm now going to show you my 3 ways of preparing micro pellets. The first way is for use on the method feeder, and I've got one of the Guru bait strainers there, and I'll tend to use, and I'm not going to do too many because I'm not going out today, but there we've got the Ringer's method, and there we've got the standard R2. So I tend to do around 50-50, give them a mix up. Flood them with water, start my stopwatch, just make sure they're all taking on water, and I'm now going to give that 2 minutes. Don't worry, you don't have to fast forward, I will edit some out at this point. Okay, so we're nearing the 2 minutes. Just wait till we get there. You don't have to be super precise. Take the strainer out. That, and I tend to just kind of shunt them down into one corner, just squeeze a little bit of the water out. You still want some in there. And then I've got a zip top case. There we go, they're all out. Put them in there. As you can see, there's still a little bit of moisture on them there. I'm now going to zip that up. Put the microphone back on. So there they are within that. I tend to just give them a shake, and we're now going to leave them. Now I tend to do this before I even set off to go fishing, so they quite often get left a couple of hours. We're going to leave them an hour like that. We're not going to touch them. Let's move on to the second way, and this is for feeding on the pole. So you want a nice fully water absorbed pellet for doing this. For this I only use the R2 pellets. These blow up absolutely lovely. So this tiny little container is one of the clip lock ones. I got these not somewhere you'd normally get fishing tackle from. I got these from John Lewis, and they were 4 for £2, and they're fantastic. You can get lots of different sizes. I've got various sizes depending how many pellets I want to do, but quite often, certainly winter, that would do me for at least a couple of hours of expanders and micro kind of fishing. But you can get great big tubs and do great big amounts in just the same way. So let's put water in. Sometimes I also add 1mm Preston pellets in at this point as well, and they work really well. Unfortunately, Prestons are troubling to source them, so I don't know whether I'll ever be able to replace them. So that's watertight. The water's pretty much all the way in there. Turn it over a couple of times so that they've all picked up some water. And again, we're going to park that there, and we're going to leave that for an hour as well. Again, something I'm happy to do at home. As with all of these, I'm using tap water. I don't have a problem with that. Some people do. Some of the biggest anglers don't have any problem with it whatsoever. The third method is, it doesn't matter what size container you use for this, because we're going to put one lot of micros, one lot of ground bait and one lot of water. So you can do quite an amount. Bear in mind that ground bait kind of increases as you add water, so I'm doing a fairly small amount, and you'll see later quite how much we get. Again, these pellets are going to absorb a lot of water, so I'm using the R2s. So that's full container of R2s. Now you can pick your own ground bait. I prefer one that takes a lot of water, and I'm quite keen on this Super Crush Green from Sonia Baits. So now I will add, again, this isn't scientific, but I do like to always measure my ground bait so you have some kind of reference point. So tip that in, and then we've got a full water. So this is something I saw Lee Kerry do. It would be maybe 15 years ago. So you can see there, it's all looking a bit wet, a bit messy. Make sure you get in the corners, get all the dry ground bait in. You don't want big clumps of dry ground bait. There we go. And again, like the other two, we're going to leave these for over an hour and then come back to them and see what we've got. Okay, we're back now. This is nearly 2 hours since I did that, almost a couple of minutes. I was only going to leave it an hour, but I put the washing machine on and I didn't think you'd want that as the background noise. So I've got the pellets and the ground bait together, and it's a bit of a stodge. So I'm just going to work this, stop it sticking, put it into another bait tub, and then I'm just running this between my hands just to separate everything. I can still feel it's got a bit of moisture in there. Still got a few lumps, but I'll get them out. But you can see there what we've got. We've got a nice mix of fairly expanded 2mm. Now, when would I use this? Well, I think if you've got something like a hybrid feeder, this makes a brilliant base layer. So you put that in the bottom and that's going to stay there. That's really good, secure. Put your bait, then put some normal method pellets on. That base is going to stay for some time. I also think if you're in deeper water, using a normal method feeder, this is something that just lasts a little bit longer. It doesn't come off when you hit the water and it goes through the water. What I will say is I'm not going out till Wednesday, it's Monday today. I'm going to put that in a bag and that will be absolutely fine in a couple of days to use. I'll have no problem with that. I'll also feed it on the pole so you can form a nice little ball. Maybe if you're doing expanders over the top, you've got a little bit of added attraction with the ground bait. So the second one is the pellets have been in there. Don't know if you can see, but they've all swollen up. So I'm just going to get these out now. Again, they've been compressed together with the water, so they take a bit of kind of tempting out again. Running them through my hands just to get all the, obviously I can do that a little bit longer. These feel quite sticky, but they're really well blown up micro pellets, perfect for fishing on the pole. And you could use them on a method feeder if you really wanted to do it that way. I prefer the method I'm going to come on to, but they'll dry out. You might need to dip a little bit of water in when you're using them, but that's really good micros for feeding. And then lastly, I haven't opened this up, haven't shaken it or done anything. You can see there, they're all kind of stuck. to the bottom. But in no time I've separated all of those pellets. Now they're a little bit on the dry side, they've had a couple of hours. So I'll just get a tiny bit of water. Don't pour water into these because it's difficult to regulate. So I just put a little bit in my hands, put it in there. I tend to leave it in this container while I'm on the bank. They've just taken on a little bit of water. So I think these are now perfect for the method feeder. There we go. Perfect little bowl. These, as they haven't fully absorbed the water, when that hits the bottom, they will take on the water. That will break down really nicely and be perfect for the method or indeed on the hybrid feeder. That's it. I hope that was easy to follow and you could see what I'd done there. The timings, the methods is something I've refined over a long time, but what is really important to me is that I can do them at home on the morning before I set up, put them in my bag, get there, get set up, and I know with just maybe an odd little splash of water here and there, I'm going to have really good pellets to use, and it'll give you more time to set up when you're fishing a match. So the pellets that I did for the pole in the little sealable tub and the 50-50 ones, I'm doing it today, I'm fishing on Wednesday, I've put them in a bag. They'll be perfectly fine to use for a couple of days. Just a normal plastic bag, seal it up, they're great. The method ones I've done, they don't keep, they lose their stickiness, they get dry, and I've tried kind of adding bait booster and other things, but you never quite get them right for using on the method again. That said, they are, if anything, better for the pellet feeder. So when you're using the pellet feeder, you don't want everything to stick in the pellet feeder. You want it to come out quickly. So non-sticky micros are brilliant, and I will use them on the pellet feeder. I'll maybe cap it off with a couple of fresh pellets on the outside that will fall off quickly and the pellet feeder will empty. Or in summer in particular, if you've got leftovers and you go in the following day, it doesn't really matter. You can, if you're lumping them in the margins or whatever, you can feed yesterday's method ones that aren't fully expanded, and the fish just don't care at that time of year. I think what I'm going to say about this is you need to find your own way, and I've found my way and I'm showing that to you today. And there might be people out there who are really struggling with one element of it, and you might want to try something different and give my method a go. Obviously different pellet manufacturers are going to have slightly different pellets, but all the big players, their pellets are very similar. So I think you can apply what I've done and try it as well. The other thing is, don't make great big batches of pellets, because as you can see, I can do this on the bank. So if halfway through the day, I think, yeah, the method feeder is working today, I'm going to be doing this a long time, I can put some more to soak for 2 minutes, put them in a tub, leave them, and then within half an hour, they'll be ready to use. So there's nothing here that is complicated and you can't do. So I do see a lot of the sponsored anglers using great big tubs, and I'm thinking, really, are you going to get through that? And they do pints and pints. There really is no need, because you can prepare good pellets nice and quickly. I think the other thing I would say is find a brand that you get on with and then stick to it. Now, they do have different batches and they do change slightly, but generally they're like the previous batch, and you won't have any problems using that, and it gives you some confidence that you can prepare bait quickly. You know how it works, you know when it needs a little bit of water. So find a brand you like and stick to it. That's it for today. Hope you found that interesting. Lots on my channel to look at. You want to give me a like and subscribe, that's great. It's starting to warm up. I've started buying more gear. There's going to be more reviews coming. Until next time, tie lines.